Hello and welcome. My name is Faz Kareem, and I want to welcome everyone to a quick course on Microsoft Planner. Now, Microsoft Planner is an online tool that we have access to on Office.com if you're an Office 365 subscriber. Now, in this course, I do have quite a few learning objectives that I want to cover. Now, I want to talk about what Microsoft Planner is, what that task management system can do for us, and how we can use it by visiting Office.com and building my very own plan. From there, I want to talk about these fancy features that you can add to each task and how we can integrate it to Microsoft Outlook, or maybe export the plan to Excel, as well as adjust the plan's notification settings. Now, once we do dive into that, I want to talk a little bit about Tasks by Planner, the all-new Tasks app that's inside of Team that's built based off the Planner software. Now, once we do look at Tasks by Planner, I also want to show you an area which you can manage your plans within Teams or Planner itself, as well as an ability to view charts instead of that list or board view that we have in Planner. I've noticed a lot of times when people are diving into Planner, they're brand new users. A few thoughts on that. If you're coming from a software like Asana, maybe Project, you're gonna feel limited. This is a very streamlined tool. It's an online tool. There isn't too many templates, things that are pre-made, but you can start building these wonderful tools that your department or your organization or the group of people that you're working with can utilize. So let's go ahead and get on with it. I'm gonna head over to office.com and open up Planner there so we can start. Now, before we do begin, I do want to give you all the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm just kidding. I do want to give you all the opportunity to join Offsite by Learnit. Now, Offsite is a great site we put together where you can come and post questions. And me or another instructor that makes these great videos will come and answer them. Or you can visit our free office hours that we occasionally put up there. And if you're a little bored and YouTube's not cutting it, you can go ahead and browse our posts to see what updates are new and the latest features that have been released with Office 365, and we can talk about it and build a community together. It's going to be pretty large. It's growing. I'm there. I post there regularly. I'm hoping to see you all there. Go ahead and check out the description to see if you have a quick little link that you can click to join Offsite. That way you can go ahead and talk to me and the other instructors that make these wonderful videos and see if you can go ahead and get a little bit more in-depth with any questions, or maybe you want to pop into the office hours and see if there's anything you want to discover with us. Hope to see you there. Alrighty, so I went ahead and signed into my office.com account. And if you don't see Planner on the left-hand side, it's just because we haven't used it yet. We haven't used it recently. Keep in mind, we do have access to the app launcher, where we can browse a list of all of our web apps that we have access to. Now keep in mind that I see Planner here, but if you don't, you can also click on all apps so that you have a nice search box. That way you can search for that tool that you'd like. Let me go ahead and open up Planner, that web app. But I do want to remind everybody that besides it being on the web, you also have access to it on your mobile devices, as well as Tasks by Planner inside of Teams that we'll see. But let's start here. I'm going to click on Planner there. Oh, look at that. It's actually telling me about the Planner app right in the homepage of Microsoft Planner. Now, I'm just going to close out that little area there if you don't want to see it again. But keep in mind that this page is actually called the Planner Hub, which just shows you a list of all of your recent plans, and it shows you a list of all of your plans that you have. The pretty nifty thing is you can actually customize the Planner Hub by making some of your plans a favorite plan. That way you can see a high-level overview of the plan at the Planner Hub, like how many tasks are left, how many are started, what's late, completed, or in progress. Now keep in mind that if you do want to favorite any one of your plans, just a matter of check marking the star. next to each one of your plans, whether it's from the recent plan list or the all plan list that we have. But now that we've taken a little tour of the Planner Hub, where we have access to our favorite plans that we can use and our recent and all plans, let's take a little bit of a tour and see how we can build a brand new plan that we can add tasks to ourselves. Okay, let me go ahead and build that new plan. Now I'm going to build my plan entirely from scratch. And I get to give it a plan name. And I also get to give it a privacy level, as well as a description about the plan and the options there. But something very important that I don't want you to pass up is the ability to add this plan to an existing Office 365 group. So if you're already using a SharePoint site, or if you're using a Yammer group, or if you're using a Microsoft team, you already have a group. You must add this tool to that group. So if you're building a plan for a team that you already made, a Yammer group that you've already made, a SharePoint online site that you've already made, you must add this plan at the very beginning to that group. Otherwise, it's just going to go ahead and make its own group. And that way you can't add it to that team, that SharePoint site, because it's its own group already. And Microsoft does not let you add groups together. So it's very important to not skip this step if you plan to use this in a team, to select that team, that group, that SharePoint site. That way you can have that available when you go into Microsoft Teams. For mine, I'm going to save it to the Team Sandbox group, because I have a team in Microsoft Teams called Team Sandbox that I will eventually add this to. Now, if I don't choose this setting here, I won't be able to create and add this later to that team. I would have to basically add a whole new group and start from scratch again. Let me go ahead and call this one my planner demo. And I'm just going to create the plan here. Alrighty. So now that I have created a plan, the first thing that I want to point out is that I can go ahead and add additional members to this plan directly from Planner itself, but keep in mind that this is associated to the Microsoft team that I already have built, the Planner team. Now that team doesn't have any members in it besides me, but it's already included me in there. But keep in mind you can add additional members to this plan as well. Now, what I want you to try doing is pausing the video and creating your own plan. It's okay if you don't have a team or a group to add it to. Just in the future, if you ever need to add it to a group, remember that you have to do that step. But for you, you can just build a brand new group and create a plan from there. When you do that, come right back so we can add some tasks and some buckets to this plan here. So now that I have a plan, I do want to remind everybody that there isn't a template plan that we can use. They all come blank. You can use one of your older plans as a starting base. But for us, let's first make this plan here. And let's just pretend that I'm building a project that has 3 different phases that we're going to have to kind of go through. So I'm going to translate those phases of my project into something called buckets. I'm just going to go to the top of this to-do bucket, and I'm going to call it the phase 1 bucket by clicking into it. And I'll go ahead and add my phase 2 and 3 bucket. Phase 2. And when I click away, I can add my phase 3. I'm going to leave it at these 3 buckets here. Now that I have the structure, the buckets down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding in tasks. Now these tasks are for each part of the phases here, and you can move them around after they're created, but let me add a task to phase 1. And for this task, I'm just going to do a demo of Planner. And I'm going to set a due date for that task. And I'm going to set it for today, the 30th there. I'm going to assign it to a member of this plan here, which is me. I'm the only person in the plan. Now I'm going to add this task here. So I've added my very first task. Very bare bone. There's not too many details that I've added yet. But I want to just say what we're looking at here, because this is called a card. Now this card has the task name, and it has the due date and the person it's been assigned to. Now this person that got assigned the task will actually receive a notification for 7 days saying you have a task due. And then after the due date passes, it'll instantly change it for 7 days saying you have a late task due. So it's pretty easy to get a hold of people, letting them know they have a task, because they'll receive this notification inside of Teams if they're using it, and inside of Outlook. Planner will send them a notification saying you have a task due, and they can go to the task directly from that email or that chat message in Teams. But this task, although it has a title, due date, and assignee, it has very basic info in it. Let me add some more details by clicking on the card. Now the first thing I can do is I can add labels. I can add labels to my tasks. Here, let me build some labels here. I'll build an urgent, or no, we already have that used. Here, I'll do client names. I'll do Microsoft for one. We'll do Amazon Web Services for another. And we'll probably do, let's just do Facebook there. There we go, keeping it simple. Here, we'll do Zoom too. I'm gonna mark this as a Microsoft task because we can reorganize the board based off the labels we have. And I'm going to put that this task is in progress and that it's an urgent task. Planner is a good tool. It's an important tool to use. And I'm going to put that we started the task today and that it's due today. And if we had any notes, demo charts, lists, and board view. You can also show that note on the card as well. Demo charts, list, and board view. Now, if you do prefer a checklist of items, you can have action items that we need people to complete. That way we can kind of track and see how far along they are on this card or this task by completing each checklist item. And you can even attach files in case they need to look at a file from a SharePoint site that you have access to or from your actual computer. You want to upload a file. Now you can leave comments in a card, but at the current moment, mentions don't work. The comment gets sent out to the entire group, so you can't really specifically mention one particular person in the comment, but they do plan on adding that feature into Microsoft Planner. But for right now, we can go ahead and see the comments inside of the card details once we click on it. So I've added quite a few details to this card. I created a task here, and then I added a priority level, a progress level. I added in some notes and a checklist. I could have gone as far as even adding a file. Now keep in mind that this task can be moved to each part or each phase of our plan. I'm going to put it back into phase 1 there. And the whole point of us building these details and adding these buckets is because now we have the ability to get each one of our tasks and to rearrange them, to filter them based off the information we put into the task. Like at the current moment, I've grouped everything based off the buckets that I've created. I can also switch it to based off assigned to, and I can see the buckets, see if there's any tasks that are unassigned, versus the tasks that have people assigned to them. Or I can do it based off the priority level, where I have my urgent tasks, because it's marked as urgent, my important, medium, and low tasks, depending on what setting I chose. So these views that we have make it pretty easy to kind of just break down the plan, see the progress of the plan in a different manner without spending too much time reorganizing the structure. Here I am looking at it based off the labels that I have assigned. I'm going to go back to bucket. I can also filter things with these same options that I have. But I do want to give you a chance to add your own card into a plan, giving it its own details. Then after that, I want you to try playing around with the grouping options and seeing the different various ways you can group these charts. Seeing the various ways we can group these tasks. And then once we've done that, we'll dive in a little bit more and we'll build another task using the all-new charts view as well, which gives you a much more visual breakdown of exactly what we're looking at here. So now that I've built a board, I have one task. I'm going to use the charts view in Planner to add a task to phase 2 this time. Now the charts view is a breakdown, a much more visual breakdown of the status of the plan, a full breakdown of how many tasks are in the plan, what's in progress, what's late, what's completed, and what hasn't been started, as well as a breakdown of the task broken down by bucket and priority. The cool thing is I can also go to the bottom and see a member list and see who has a task assigned versus who doesn't, and I can view the status of the task. I'm going to go ahead and add a second task over here. And for this task, because I'm using the charts view, I have to select the phase that I want to put it in. So I'm going to put it in phase 2. And I'm going to call this one Demo Planner in Teams. Don't worry, we'll talk about that today too. But I'm going to set that for today, and I'm going to assign that to myself as well to get those notifications for 7 days until it's due, and 7 days after it's due for that late notification. Just like that, it added in those details. This is a medium priority. It's still assigned to me. You know, I can go to these tasks here and add more details to them by clicking on it, adding the labels that I want, putting the progress level, changing the priority, moved it over to important now, phase 2. So now that we've adjusted and played around with the board view and the charts view, some people will prefer to view a calendar instead. Maybe they're using this for events or there's a timeline with strict due dates, so they're preferring to use the schedule view. Now the schedule view is very similar to charts, but instead it just shows a calendar. And you can go ahead and schedule tasks to this calendar here, whether you want to view it by the month or the week. We'll leave it at week so we can see that new task. And I'm going to add a task here into phase 3. And I'm going to call this adding calendar to Outlook. I'm going to set the due date for today, and I'm going to assign that to myself. Cool. Now I have 3 different cards that I've built. Again, adding details is important. Adding a start date to the due date if these things are needed. Let's add a label too. So, go ahead and pause the video. Try using the charts view, taking a look at each one of the visuals that they provide you with. You can hover over each item and it kind of tells you a little bit more data. And then after you've done that and you've browsed through this plan, try adding a task into your second bucket, your second phase, directly from the charts view. And go back and see in the boards view if it's actually shown up. And just to make sure we got all views down, try going into the schedule view, playing around with a different adjustment with the week and the month, and adding in your third task from there so that we can see a calendar with our tasks. When you've done that, come right back and we'll continue on some more goodies in Microsoft Planner there. But make sure you have at least 3 tasks in a plan that you've built out here. Now, Planner does have some adjustments that you can make and some pretty fancy features that we can find inside the ellipses. Now, keep in mind that this ellipses will not show up in Microsoft Teams. It's only available for the Planner app on the web. But from here, you can actually go ahead and directly add this plan to your Outlook calendar so that you can view your tasks and the due dates side by side to your personal calendar as well. I'm going to add this plan to my Outlook calendar by publishing it to my calendar there. Now, you can share this link out with anyone that you would like to give this calendar to, or you can go ahead and hit Add to Outlook to add it to your Outlook calendar, which will be available on the web and on the desktop app. Alrighty. So here I am. I can go ahead and choose the color of my calendar. I can choose an icon for the calendar as well. And I can choose a location of where I want to add it in my calendars or other calendars there. I'll do it under my calendars and I'll choose to import that calendar. Alrighty, as you can see there, I already saw it pop up on the web. Make it dismiss all there and close that out. But I have my planner calendar here. With my tasks. Pretty nifty, pretty nifty. So, Planner is available in Outlook, but you actually have to add it to your Outlook calendar. And each person that wants to view it in Outlook, in their Outlook calendar, has to do that for themselves. Try publishing your plan to Outlook, and then viewing on the web if you have access to the calendar, and also it doesn't hurt to pop into your desktop app of Microsoft Outlook and viewing your calendar and seeing the tasks from there as well. Alrighty, now that we went ahead and added the plan to our Outlook calendars, another option that you can have when you wanted to do a quick little analysis of how far along you are is exporting the plan to Excel. This will create an Excel file of the plan with the plan's name called Planner Demo. And it kind of gives you a nice running list showing you, okay, here's the plan name, the date that you exported the plan, as well as all the tasks at the current moment, what bucket they lived in, and whether or not someone has completed them, as well as all the items, the labels, the checklist, the description. All this info will be tracked for you. So at the end of the project, you can kind of have a summary and a breakdown of maybe why things didn't work the way they did, or why did things work the way they did. So it's pretty interesting to be able to export the plan to Excel there. Again, all things that are available from the ellipses here. But you won't find that inside of Microsoft Teams Planner, the task by planner. You have to do these things from the web. Go ahead and try exporting your plan to Excel, taking a look at that Excel file and seeing a look at the columns that are available to you, and come right back so we can talk about some plan settings that we have access to and how we can modify them. Okay, so let's take a look at these plan settings. There's not too many that we can adjust, but they're worth looking over. Now, of course, if you needed to update the name of the plan, you can do that directly from here at the top. But you also have notification settings that you can adjust. Now, anytime a comment, like we discussed, when you make a comment in a card, That's going to send an email to the entire group, but there are notification settings that you can adjust. You can have planners send you notifications when a task is assigned to you or when a task is late. That was that 7-day notification setting we were talking about. I can also go ahead and edit the group itself by changing the name of the team that this lies from, the description of the team that it lives in, as well as the privacy level of the team that it lives in. I can also do this aspect of it from Microsoft Teams as well. And last but not least, I can also delete this plan from the plan settings. Notice how they kind of put that tucked away. They don't want you accidentally deleting a plan by leaving the delete button right at the front of the screen. You have to go inside the settings to delete the plan because you're deleting something big. It's not just a file, you're deleting a bunch of things all at once. Kind of like when you delete a SharePoint document library, a list of some sort, you have to go within the settings of it to delete that app. It's kind of protecting you from the deletion option of it. So I'm not going to change any of these settings. I just wanted to go through them with you. But keep in mind that some of these things are kind of hidden there, like our notification settings, as well as our group settings, the editing group. They're kind of hyperlinks that you kind of have to notice. Pause the video. Take a look at your plan settings. See what you can adjust. See how you might like your plan settings for your group. And when you come back, we'll talk about how we can integrate this plan into a team that we have available or another group that we have available. Alrighty, everybody. So I'm over here in Microsoft Teams, and the first thing that I want to point out is that inside of your app list, you will see an option to add tasks by planner. Tasks by planner to the left-hand side of Microsoft Teams. You can right-click and choose to pin that option there. That way you can view all of your tasks all in one spot inside of Microsoft Teams. These are all of the different tasks that I have assigned to me across all of my different plans that I've been using. I can go ahead and use my own task list and create my own task list, mark things as important, and view my shared plans directly from here without having to browse through all of my teams. If you are using Planner, I highly recommend to add this tab to your Teams interface. But to make better use of Planner, it makes sense to also add that individual plan that you created to one of the channels that you're using for easy access. So over here, I have the Team Sandbox. This is actually the group that I use to create the plan in. So that means when I go and add a tab, I'm a team owner, I can do that. I have the ability to go ahead and choose Planner. Let me go ahead and search this list for Planner there. There's Tasks by Planner. And from here, because I used that group, I can choose an existing plan. And that Planner demo is already available inside of this team because it's associated to the group. And here is my Tasks by Planner inside of Teams. You're going to notice that I no longer have those ellipses options up top where I can view the charts and then I can view the schedule and then ellipses there. I don't have that option. But I still have the option to change the grouping, change the filter, and I can view my tasks in a list. That way it's much more cleaner. It's an evolution of SharePoint lists. You can even add tasks directly from here. And that way you can go ahead and add the task with a check mark to the task list that we've created there. There's my test. And then I can add the details directly from the list, like who it's assigned to, the priority level, the progress level, the due date. I can do all of that directly from the list view as well. So, a lot to discover, a lot to play around with, but most of these things are doing the same thing. It's just more of your preference of which view you'd appreciate to select and use more than others. go ahead and play around with Planner. If you are using Teams, try seeing if you can add that plan to that team that you added it to in the beginning. Play around with it within Teams, but keep in mind if you ever need to access the full scope planner on the web, you can always click on the globe right below your profile. And that's going to go ahead and take you directly to the plan on the web to where you'll have access to those settings we talked about, like exporting it to Excel, adding the plan to Outlook, and accessing the plan settings and adjusting from there. Congratulations, you've completed the course. Now keep in mind, Microsoft Planner is constantly evolving. Most online tools do, so there'll be constant updates and new features that are rolled out into Planner, but we did cover the learning objectives. We talked a little about what Planner is, a task management system, how we can access it, office.com, and we actually built our own plan. We learned about those cool things like adding it to Outlook, exporting the plan to Excel, and adjusting the plan's group settings. And then from there, we learned about tasks by Planner, how we can use tasks within Teams to view all of your tasks in one spot, as well as having a unique spot within your Teams channels to view your tasks, mark them complete, and see what needs to be done in the charts view. Of course, practice makes perfect. Play around with Planner.